Well, the Iran-Israel war just exploded into an entirely new chapter. Now China secretly flying military cargo planes into Iran. Iran's top brass may be sneaking into Oman. President Trump has the Doomsday plane on standby, and worst of all, an Iranian missile strike just hit an Israeli hospital. Israel calling it a war crime. Nothing about this is normal. Nothing about this is over. Here's everything the mainstream media refuses to connect for you. This war is bigger, bloodier, and more dangerous than anyone wants to discuss or imagine or believe, because it's just easier to say, make it all go away. And then you get this.
You can see behind me the Soroka hospital in the city of Beersheba is still on fire. First responders are on the scene. There is significant damage following this Iranian ballistic missile strike.
אימא'לה, מה קורה בסורוקה? טירוף מוחלט. הכל שבור. תראו את האנשים. תראו.
Iran saying it was done by a shockwave. We had targeted something just around it, a military installation. We really did. The shockwave did it. But Trump makes the call now. Trump requests information on the one thing that would fulfill his commitment. And there's been one overriding commitment, one overriding statement Trump has made. And the thing that can do it for him, well, he just asked for more information on. Folks, I'll bring you the entire story here in just 1 minute. One event is all that it takes to kick this thing right over the red line. Is this the event? Civilians targeted? Paramount concern, but there's been a lot of moving parts in this story. Iran's leader cannot continue to exist. Israeli minister declares. What does he state exactly? He considers the destruction of Israel to be a goal. Such a man can no longer be allowed to exist. But all eyes and ears are on Trump, aren't they? Well, Trump and China and Russia. And what has their response been? I'm going to cover at great length what just happened over the last 24 hours. And it's planes, and more planes, because they're telling a much different story than the media is reporting to you. I want to make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Amazing video clicks over the last 3 days as you have all tuned in to what is a black and white presentation of this ongoing battle between Israel and Iran. Thank you for that. The new subscribers, thank you. The new members, and you see the button right below you. Go ahead and click on it. Join as a member here. It helps keep these lights and cameras on. Those of you who provided super thanks as an extra appreciation of videos. You know I invested right back into the platform that Lisa Haven and I created, which isn't right where you're watching this right now. No, it's at restrictedrepublic.com. It's an easy one to type in, restrictedrepublic.com. You want to go there and you'll find no commercials, no interruptions, only stone cold hard facts, and the way Lisa and I work day and night to provide to you. It is unfiltered and it is uncensored, the way news was meant to be. I need you to go to restrictedrepublic.com right now. Don't forget. Stop everything you're doing. Put down that cup of coffee and type in restrictedrepublic.com and come see what real news was meant to sound like. But now, let's get back to this broadcast. So now remembering, Iran is claiming the strike on the hospital, that it was just Iran had targeted Israeli military facilities near a hospital, according to the Fars news agency, which is affiliated with the Revolutionary Guard. It's a war of propaganda. Much of this is a war of propaganda. Of course, BBC jumps in. They're going to verify the imagery, although to most people that would appear pretty clean cut. Maybe that was just behind the hospital and the shockwave hit it. Verifying images from the Israeli hospital, you see everyone seems on a mission to prove that Israelis are also providing propaganda, which no one is saying they don't. This is war, and sometimes propaganda is the strongest weapon. It's almost impossible to verify right now. You could jump on Google Maps and you'll see quickly that the only thing that seems to surround the hospital is more hospital facilities. So this is still up for debate, but we know there's always been a lack of transparency, hasn't there been? A lack of transparency and cooperation. Remember, this has been triggered by multiple events, but there's one event I don't want anyone to forget because it all follows one storyline. Trump stating that Iran can never have a nuclear weapon, period. Lack of cooperation from Iran hampers nuclear checks, says Atomic Energy Watchdog. What's more specific, the head of the UN-backed nuclear watchdog has raised fresh concerns over Iran's failure to fully cooperate with inspections. Let me make this larger because everybody seems to forget this. Warning that it is preventing independent verification of its nuclear activities. Unless and until Iran assists the agency in resolving the outstanding safeguard issues, the agency will not be in a position to provide assurance that they aren't developing a bomb. Long story short, the agency also concluded that Iran did not declare nuclear and nuclear-related activities at these 3 undeclared locations in Iran. Forget about that, though. They're being on the up and up. They're being honest. Given the potential proliferation implications, the agency cannot ignore this, but yet the mainstream media and many on the left are asking you to ignore it. Just simply look by it. It's not happening. None of it's real. Ukraine, defend. Military might, send the weapons. Israel, no, we don't want a war. You guys got to make up your mind at some point in time. Which way do you want it? Do you want peace, safety, and security for the United States of America or not? Do you want to engage in foreign wars or do you not? Because it's really hard to keep track of which direction you're going. Ukraine, yes. Israel, no. Which is it? But we have bigger problems, don't we? And Trump has bigger problems to navigate. Putin and Yi call for diplomatic breakthrough to resolve Israel-Iran conflict. Russian President Vladimir Putin and his Chinese counterpart Xi Jinping have made fresh calls for a diplomatic solution to resolve the conflict between Israel and Iran. Okay, now we have to keep an eye on this. And why do we have to keep an eye on it? We know the ties, the military might, the energy. Top Khomeini aide in talks with Russia for possible evacuation plan. Interesting. Flight tracker allegedly spies mysterious Chinese transport planes heading for Iran. This all fresh and breaking. China sends mysterious transport planes into Iran, and they even had a flight tracker on them. These cargoes cannot but generate a lot of interest because of the expectation that China might do something to help Iran. Go full screen so you can read this with me. China and Iran are strategic partners, aligned primarily in their opposition to the U.S.-led world order, and in favor of a new multipolar phase in global diplomacy. BRICS, to be more specific. Iran, too, is one of China's key energy suppliers, sending as many as 2 million barrels of oil a day. So it's no surprise that Beijing might be looking for ways to support and stabilize the Islamic Republic. The collapse of the current regime would be a significant blow and would generate a lot of instability in the Middle East, ultimately undermining Chinese economic and energy interests. But they went a step further, didn't they?
We strongly condemn the Israelis' attack on Iran. This is a violation of the Iran's sovereignty and territorial integrity. And we are particularly concerned that they are attacking nuclear facilities, which is another red line that Israel has crossed.
There's a red line Israel has crossed, of course, right? Not the fact that Iran just struck a hospital. That's not a red line. But they are striking nuclear facilities. Of course, Israel's doing that. That is exactly what they have intended to do. Just yesterday, Iran agreed to redesign Arak to make it possible to produce weapons-grade plutonium. This was under the JCPOA. You remember this? Well, Israel just hit it. You see the cloud in the background. The one that was supposed to be filled with cement, never used again. But you see, there's never been a straight storyline on this, has there? So Israel continues forward. At least, maybe this wasn't Israel. Because somebody just hacked, an hour ago, the regime's infamous propaganda and lies agency. The regime's infamous Iranian Broadcasting Corporation was hacked. After the regime's normal programs were interrupted, a message was issued to the Iranian nation calling on Iranians to rise up to overthrow the regime. Now, who would be responsible for that, I wonder? Israel and Iran war. How is this all going down? Many of you have asked. Maybe I'll give you more specifics then. There is all the hits on Iran. Have we heard a lot of reports on mass civilian casualties in Iran? Maybe you have. Put them in the comments below. Put the links. Let's read them. Let's find them. A little bit more focus into Tehran, the center of so much of the activity, but you see a lot of the production capability also of all the technology centers, enrichment plants, and what exactly and specifically Israel is looking for. As far as Israel, the strikes that have made it through the Iron Dome and the multiple batteries that Israel has to defend itself, but unfortunately, it can be overwhelmed. And unfortunately, a hospital was now hit, but all eyes again are on Trump and U.S. interest. You see there in the round circles, the blue or purple, or square blue or purple. Well, those are our bases. Those are our men and women of the U.S. military. Those are the ones in harm's way. One strike on them will result in something far more catastrophic. The leadership of Iran depleted, attempting to replace it as quick as they can, but for every replacement, another strike hits. What did I tell you? All eyes on Trump. What has he said? Because right now, the world is watching what his reaction will be. But remember, the call's been made.
About whether you are moving closer, or you believe the U.S. is moving closer to striking Iranian nuclear facilities. Where's your mindset on that?
I can't say that, right? You don't seriously think I'm going to answer that question? Will you strike the Iranian nuclear component? And what time exactly, sir? Sir, would you strike it? Would you please inform us so we can be there and watch? I mean, you don't know that I'm going to even do it. You don't know. I may do it. I may not do it. I mean, nobody knows what I'm going to do. I can tell you this, that Iran's got a lot of trouble, and they want to negotiate. And I said, why didn't you negotiate with me before? All this death and destruction. Why didn't you negotiate? I said to the people, why didn't you negotiate with me 2 weeks ago? You could have done fine. You would have had a country. It's very sad to watch this. I mean, I've never seen anything like it. It's so, everyone thought it was going to be the reverse. I didn't think so. And I was telling them, you gotta do something. You gotta negotiate. And at the end, last minute, they said, no, we're not going to do that, and they got hit. Remember 60 days, and then came the 60. 61 is going to become a very famous number. That was one hell of a hit. That first hit, that was one hell of a hit. Not sustainable, to be honest. That's where it ended. It ended on the first night. Yes.
Is it too late, though? Do you think it's too late to now?
Really, nothing's too late. The only thing too late is Powell. Powell's too late. Too late, Powell.
Taking his proverbial shot at the Fed chair there. Of course he is. But he was very specific on his day count. He's alluding to a first strike. He's alluding to how powerful it was after 1 day of their violation of his request. I don't know how much more specific he can be. Laughing at the mainstream media for asking the time and place and date of when they will strike. It is laughable to even think he would provide that information. But what's his answer to, what do you say to Supreme Leader of Iran who says that they will not surrender? Well, Trump has an answer for that, too.
President, what do you say to the Supreme Leader of Iran who says that they will not surrender?
Say good luck.
Not many words needed there, just good luck if you won't surrender. Good luck if you won't give up your nuclear ambitions. It's what it's been about for Trump. Nothing more and nothing less.
I said I had to focus. I was the hunted, and now I'm the hunter.
Oh, it is a big difference, isn't it? See, his what appears to be indecision is what is keeping Iran on its toes. Now we know from the Wall Street Journal, also confirmed by multiple sources, that Trump has privately approved an attack plan. But he's holding it back so far. He is hoping that Iran comes to the table, which I believe is a waste of hope. They're not going to, and even if they did, come to the table and say, look, man, you're right. We want you to stop on us. We want to continue. They're going to tell us the truth. They don't tell the own nuclear advisors the truth. but they're suddenly going to tell us the truth. They violated the JCPOA under different leadership, but they're going to tell us the truth now. I would never count on that in any way, shape, or form, but this story goes on. Because suddenly a plane is spotted in the air by multiple news agencies. Oh, that's not Trump's plane. That's the Iranian planes heading into Oman to allegedly discuss a potential ceasefire. But Trump's moved his own plane, hasn't he? Presidential Doomsday plane lands near D.C. amid rising tensions in the Middle East. You can learn all about this plane. It's an amazing feat of American ingenuity. This is the Boeing Doomsday plane. Once you see it, you know you might only have about 5 minutes to live, but nonetheless, it safeguards key figures like the president, Pete Hegseth, others that are in need of a rapid response, engine running continually so it can immediately take off. Thermal nuclear shielding in case of a blast. It goes airborne, and it is its own command station. It could be refueled, fly for up to a week. It has flares. It has chaff. It is the ultimate beast in the sky. Only the most experienced pilots can operate it. And the president just moved it. But remember those Iranian planes? Iranian government plane just landed in Oman where the talks with the U.S. were previously held. Is Khamenei going to sign the surrender today? What does he have left is the question. Right now, all he has left is China and Russia, who were somewhat quiet until just moments ago. Now suddenly they're rattling back up. Do you think that's to continue to assure he doesn't back down? At least 3 Iranian military planes have just left Iran and landed in Oman, the country mediating the U.S.-Iran nuclear talks. A deal may be back at the table, so many speculating, those hoping that this comes to a peaceful end. But in the meantime, what's Trump do? U.S. to deploy the $13 billion high-tech aircraft carrier USS Gerald Ford to the Mediterranean as world tensions flare. Puts the Doomsday plane up in the sky.
Some of the people in the base don't want a long-term war. They're afraid that we're going to get into a long-term war.
We're not looking for a long-term war. We're looking. I only want one thing. Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. Right. That's it. I'm not looking long-term, short-term. And I've been saying that for 20 years.
And he has been saying it for 20 years. And I've been saying it, well, not for 20 years, but since the day I started doing broadcasting, it simply cannot happen. But now this call between Putin and Xi Jinping, 4 proposals promoting a ceasefire and ending the hostility is an urgent priority. Ensuring the safety of civilians is of paramount importance. Opening dialogue and negotiation is the fundamental way forward. Efforts by the international community to promote peace are indispensable until, well, Iran hits a hospital, a civilian installation. Many would declare that a war crime, including Netanyahu himself. So will they be able to hold him back now? And then the call comes out. How bunker buster bombs work and how they could destroy Iran's Fordow nuclear site. I've told you this is target number 1. Our refuelers heading over there already. And the only planes that can carry this are ours. But that doesn't tie Trump to it, does it? That doesn't mean it's one of his potentials. President Donald Trump is asking his advisors. The call is made about the effectiveness of bunker buster bombs against Iran's nuclear infrastructure. A U.S. official told Fox News that bunker busters are just one of the options Trump is considering. Remember, he's already approved a plan. And he has decided not yet to intervene in the conflict. The official noted that all options remain on the table, remembering today was the day that Israel and even Trump alluded to is something major may occur. Of course, Iran said the other day that something the world would never forget for decades would occur, and it didn't. The war of propaganda continues forward. So the 2 beautiful flags that Trump just installed on the lawn playing in the background. But a major story continues to brew forward. This isn't just an Israel-Iran conflict. This is a battle, a powder keg, armed by global superpowers. disguised with diplomatic handshakes and pushed toward ignition by every missile and false promise. We're not watching peace talks. That is not at all what's occurring here. We're watching the next global war and the script towards it being written in real time. So one word answer from you. Who do you feel is the true aggressor in this conflict? It's a big question. I can't wait to read your responses below. I love you all. Until next time, Godspeed and God bless. Justice Knight, signing out.